right down the pipe.
And we are live from Herman Brothers Field in Palmer, Alaska, where the visiting 4-4 Anchorage Bucs take on your home team, Matsu Miners, who's come into this one 3-5. The Miners coming in tonight on a 4-game losing streak. They take on one of the hotter teams in the ABL tonight in the Bucs. The Bucs have won 3 in a row as they make their way into Palmer. So as we get ready to get this one started, we'll run through the Bucs starting lineup. Leading things off, and at short is Willie Escala, followed by the right fielder Jace Van de Break. In the 3 spot is J.C. Correa, and the designated hitter batting cleanup is Jake Veith, and in center is Logan Entz, followed by the second baseman Tanner Treadaway, and left fielder Daniel Fredrickson. In the 8th spot is catcher Jose Ruiz, and rounding things off in the 9 hole is first baseman Dane Stankiewicz. And to set the table on the defensive side of things for your Miners, behind the plate tonight, David Avitia at third, Tyler Bozetti at short, Drew Swift at second, Danny Wright, and playing first is Spencer Henson. In the outfield from left to right, Austin Pinarini, Kona Quiggle in center, and Hunter Jump out in right for your Miners. So 2 teams. One team comes in tonight on fire. The other team, the Miners, searching and clawing for their first win in 4 days. Miners right now entering the latter half of a 4-game homestand that began on Tuesday. A 2-game series against the Oilers in which the Miners dropped 2 to the Oilers and lost in heartbreaking fashion last night, 3-2. Nevertheless, we're ready to get this one going between the Bucs and Miners. Standing in first is the right-hitting shortstop, Willie Escala. As Lacey's first pitch just misses high and in. So out there on the mound for your Miners is left-handed thrower Asa Lacey. His second pitch of the ball game hits that inside corner to bring the count to 1-1. Lacey has appeared once already this season for the Miners. He came in 1 inning, faced 3 batters, and set them all down on strikes. So definitely a dominant power pitcher as he gets Escala to foul one straight back to go ahead in the count 1-2. Asa Lacey out of Kerrville, Texas, and plays his collegiate ball at Texas A&M. His 1-2 pitch misses high and inside to tie up the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Lacey was on that A&M team that made it into the regionals, the college baseball playoffs, as he misses high and away for ball 3. Counts full with no one out in the top half of the first inning. Escala, the first batter, he lifts one up into right field, taking a few steps back and eyeing it is Hunter Jump, who makes the grab for out number 1 of the inning.
Routine fly for Hunter Jump. Good way to start the game for Asa Lacey.
And it really is his first start as a Miner and in the Alaska Baseball League. Has to be pretty confident that he can set down a guy right away. That brings up the right fielder, Jace Van de Break. Van de Break, the left-handed hitter, comes in tonight 3 of 15 at the plate so far this season. He fouls one back over to the left side as he falls behind early 0-1. So Lacey, a real dominant figure out there, stands 6'4" on top of the rubber. His 0-1 is a fastball that misses away to bring the count even at 1. So Asa Lacey this past spring at A&M through 23 appearances as he delivers the 1-1. Gets Van de Break to look at one on the outside corner to open up the count to 1-2. Lacey through 23 appearances, 39 1/3 innings pitched, 2.75 ERA, where he only gave up 28 hits and had 48 strikeouts. So nice freshman campaign for Lacey as he misses high and in for ball 2. And Lacey was definitely a very talented prospect coming out of high school. Always tough to play really any sport in high school, Connor, in Texas. Such a big state and a lot of big schools. As his 2-2 is popped up into shallow left center field. On his horse and diving back is Drew Swift to make out number 2. Nice effort play there from the shortstop Swift as that ball was hit into the Bermuda Triangle of left, center, and short. All three ranging into a similar point, but Drew Swift calling everyone off.
Well, that would have been a seeing eye hit. Tremendous job by Drew Swift. He knew that nobody else was going to get it if it could have been him. So he goes out there, dives, and gets the ball.
And even Asa Lacey looks at him and gives him a nice little thumbs up. Says, thanks, man. I appreciate it. As he delivers a strike on the inside corner, Lacey. Lacey's second pitch is fouled over to the right side, so he's ahead in the count to J.C. Correa, the third baseman who bats from the right side of the plate. Correa with 4 extra base hits on the season so far. So in that 3 spot, definitely been able to provide as Lacey wastes one outside. Correa hailing from Santa Isabel, Puerto Rico. So some international pride shown tonight as Lacey delivers a fastball on the inside edge for a called strike 3. Asa Lacey sets him down in order 1, 2, and 3 here in his first start as a minor. When we come back, the Miners bats come out for the first time tonight on Matsu Miner Radio. Welcome back into Herman Brothers Field. We saw a scoreless top half of the first inning where Asa Lacey looked much like his last appearance as a minor, set down 3 batters in a row. This time it's the Bucs instead of the other Anchorage team, the Pilots. Nevertheless, we welcome you back into the home half of the first inning where the Miners bats step up, and their lineup goes as follows. Leading things off is our shortstop, Drew Swift, followed by the left fielder, Austin Pinarini. In the 3 spot is first baseman Spencer Henson. Cleaning it up today is right fielder Hunter Jump, folled by the second baseman Danny Wright and designated hitter Aaron Walters. Catching and batting 7th is David Avitia, and in left is, or rather center is Kona Quiggle, and over in the hot corner, rounding out the lineup, Tyler Bozetti. And on the mound for the Bucs is Preston Snavely out of Wichita State in his first pitch to Drew Swift. Gets Swift to swing through for strike number 1. Snavely on the mound for the Bucs, the tall right-hander. Lines and delivers the 0-1. Swift dribbles one over to third base. The throw over from Correa is in time for out number 1, so Drew Swift retired quickly to begin the Miners' bats.
Your left fielder, number 20.
Snavely on the mound, as I mentioned, from Wichita State. This past spring, he had 11 appearances. 10 of them were starts. He pitched 40 innings with a 5.18 ERA, giving up 32 hits and had 35 strikeouts. So a very, very reliable pitcher for the Shockers as he stands in to face the left-handed hitting left fielder, Austin Pinarini, who takes a strike low. One down, bottom half of the inning. We're still scoreless here at Herman Brothers Field. A little partly cloudy tonight. That sun peeking through as Pinarini fouls one off over to the left side. Pinarini, we've seen him catch throughout the first few games as a minor in his minor career. Tonight out in left as Coach Ben Taylor and his minors have dropped 4 straight. So I guess any change that can get you back in the win column, he's willing to make. Pinarini down 0-2, looks at a ball low.
Well, Pinarini has been one of those guys who've been hitting so far. So if you can hit, the coach is always going to try to find a position for you. And today for Austin, that's in left field.
So the 1-2 from Snavely. Pinarini thinks about it, but it's in the dirt. They checked to see if he went. He did not. So the count moved to 2 balls and 2 strikes. And back to Pinarini, he has a great back and definitely shown he can hit. It's 5 of 15 so far in his young minor career. So a motto from head coach Ben Taylor is, if you can hit, you're not going to sit. Pinarini showing that tonight as he looks at another ball in the dirt to bring the count full. Pinarini also reaching very well with a .375 on base percentage this season. The now you could say utility man from Gonzaga. He looks at the 3-2 and fouls it back over to the left side. Count will stay at full. 1 out, bottom of the first inning. No score between the Miners and Bucs. Miners, this is their 3rd game of a homestand tonight. Once again, a wonderful crowd gathering here at Herman Brothers Field. The 3-2 to Pinarini misses low and in the dirt. So Pinarini will get on with a 1-out walk.
That's just great plate discipline from Pinarini. He falls behind in the count 1-2. He works it to full and is able to take the walk and get on base, which is exactly what the Miners need in this struggling portion of their season.
It really was. Did a good job of working the pitcher there to a full count and then drawing the walk. And that brings up a fan favorite here. Spencer Henson, the first baseman, otherwise known around Palmer as Bubba, as Snavely will come set from the stretch. He'll just miss low with a fastball. So Henson, the first baseman from Oral Roberts, just had a heck of a season. And Oral Roberts, especially in the Summit League, he actually had the conference's triple crown this past season. The 1-0 from Snavely misses low and into Henson. Henson this past spring, what a stat line. Through 52 games played, a .369 average, .438 on base percentage, slugging percentage of .552, 10 home runs, 57 RBIs, and drew 23 walks. And let's throw in a stolen base while we're at it, as he looks at a ball on the outside edge to bring the count to 3-0. So Henson looking to get on for the 2nd time in 2 days with that big 2 RBI triple yesterday. Henson stands in from the right side, so righty-on-righty matchup as Snavely comes set from his chest, takes a glance over at first. His 3-0 offering just barely nips that inside corner for strike 1. And it was funny talking to Spencer last night. Asked him if Ben Taylor gave him as the 3-1 pitch is delivered, and Henson lines one down the third base line. That's fair. Around second, and coming into third is Pinarini, and around first and sliding into second with a double is Spencer Henson. So Bubba delivers again for the 2nd game in a row. And the Miners have runners on 2nd and 3rd with only 1 out.
Well, what a hit for Bubba. That was right up the third base line. It was more towards Coach Ben Taylor. That would have been a little foul, but even the manager, he went, fair ball, fair ball. You know, as if to help out the home plate umpire with, calling a fair foul. And it went his way. It
really does. And the Miners have been sort of lacking some early run production. They did get 2 early in the game yesterday, but they would definitely like to do it once again to try to possibly snap this 3-game losing streak. As the left-handed hitting Hunter Jump stands in, he looks at a ball away. Hunter Jump has runners on second and third, only one out in the bottom of the first. No score. The Miners looking to change that right now. Snavely, he comes set and deals. Hunter Jump lines one over to left field. That's going to drop in. Easily scoring is Pinarini, and on his horse from second and scoring standing is Spencer Henson. Hunter Jump delivers with a 2 RBI single. What a hit from Hunter Jump. Saw a pitch on the outer edge and just laced it out there over to left field.
Right.
Yeah, really nice piece of hitting from Jump. Just taking it the opposite way. Doesn't have to do anything special, and it gets to 2 RBIs.
And trying to keep this early rally in the Valley alive is second baseman Danny Wright. He hits from both sides of the plate. He'll stand in left side facing the right-hander Snavely, who misses low for ball 1. And Snavely, through 2 appearances so far, has been pretty dominant for the Bucs. Through 5 1/3 pitch, has a 1.68 ERA, 1 strikeout, and only allowed 1 walk. Though the 1-0 to Wright misses low for ball 2. Hunter Jump stands on first after delivering that 2 RBI single in the Miners' last at-bat. And they take that early 2-0 lead as Snavely comes set from the chest. He kicks and fires. This time hits that low inside corner for strike number 1. Count moves to 2 balls, 1 strike. And the Miners did have a 2-0 lead yesterday against the Oilers. Scored 2 in the bottom half of the 3rd inning off Spencer Henson's 2 RBI triple. But unfortunately, that would all they would score as Wright fouls one off to the left side. That's all they would end up scoring in an unfortunate 3-2 loss off some late game heroics for the Oilers, and then they scored 1 in the top half 10th inning. Count sits at 2-2. Snavely comes set. His pitch in the right is grounded hard over to second. The flip to second and the throw to first to complete the double play is not in time. So the Bucs only get 1, and the Miners' bats will stay alive here in the bottom of the first.
Aaron Walters.
So Jump will get out on second, a 4-3, but Wright will stay on with the fielder's choice. And that brings up left-handed hitting Aaron Walters. Designated hitter tonight, has been in a few different positions for the Miners, playing first a few days ago and catcher last night. He takes a first pitch ball low and away. Bring the count to 1-0. Miners with 2 outs. They already have 2 runs in the bottom half of this first inning. And they lead the Bucs 2-0. As Preston Snavely, he's been working from the stretch ever since the second batter of the Miners' order. Delivers a strike on that low outside corner. Count tied at 1. So Snavely retired Swift to lead off the inning. But ever since, has had a runner on. Did get an out in the last at-bat, but was a fielder's choice, so Wright stands on first. Walter dribbles one right up the middle, and misplaying it is the shortstop Escala. And the Miners' bats will stay alive here in the bottom of the first inning. So Wright with a pretty what seemed to be routine play over to Escala. Just couldn't quite handle it, as I think he tried to make the quick transition to toss to second, but the speedy Wright put too many thoughts in Escala's head.
Well, karma's kind of now deciding on the side of the Miners. As we said, it was a heartbreaking loss yesterday. Nothing was really going right for them, and now some small things are going right here today.
So standing in is the catcher today. It's David Avitia. He looks at a strike low and in. Avitia out of Grand Canyon University. Avitia through 72 at-bats, batted .250 and a .353 on-base percentage. Slugged for .292. Came in to score 9 times and had 7 RBIs. So as this one gets away from the catcher Ruiz, and the Miners runners will advance into scoring position. Runners on second and third now with 2 outs for David Avitia. So what seemed to be like an inning-ending ground ball has now turned into runners on second and third for David Avitia. As Snavely comes set, count tied up at 1. His pitch is fouled over to the right side, and Preston Snavely will come ahead in this count 1-2. Miners have scored 2 in this bottom frame of the first inning to take the early lead over the Bucs. As Snavely comes set, he has runners on second and third. The 1-2. Avitia lines one right over the shortstop Escala's head, and scoring is right. And in scoring just before the throw is Aaron Walters. So the Miners still rallying here in the Valley. They extend their lead to 4-0 over the Bucs.
Your center fielder number 24, Kona Quiggle.
So what hitting performance right now by the Miners as they jump on Snavely early. And David Avitia with a 2 RBI single. And bringing up his Grand Canyon teammate, Kona Quiggle, who looks at a strike on the outer part of the plate. And this all seemed to be, may not have happened if it wasn't for the error from Escala. Seemed to be pretty routine play, but unfortunately couldn't make it. And it has come to haunt him and the Bucs. And the Miners pounce on it, scoring 2 more runs. They hold a 4-0 lead. Quiggle fouls one back over to the left side for strike number 2. And he's down in the count, 0-2. Preston Snavely trying to get out of this inning with only 4 runs given up. His pitch is lined right up the alley by Kona Quiggle, and that will advance Avitia to second. He'll hold there. And the Miners' bats just keep on keeping on as they now have 2 runners on once again with 2 outs in the bottom of the first inning.
Well, they're just keeping the train rolling. One guy after another, standing up to the plate and doing a job. They're not doing it with any power. You know, 1 double, all singles. They just keep on chipping away at the Bucs pitching.
Right there was a great example of it. A nice 2-out hitting from Quiggle, who didn't try to do too much with it. Just laced one right up the middle. As stepping in is third baseman Tyler Bozetti. As he looks at a ball low. Bozetti out of the University of Nevada, Reno, part of the Wolf Pack. Bozetti rocks the stirrups ever since he came to Matsu. He had his green stirrups ready as he flies a foul ball over to the right side for strike number 1. Bozetti, nice season for the Wolf Pack. Through 28 games played, 271 average, 382 on base percentage, where he had 8 extra base hits. So a nice little pop in Bozetti's bat as he grounds one right up the middle again as Avitia hustling around third into home play at the plate. Ruiz cannot make the catch, so Avitia will score, but they will get Bozetti on the throw down as he tried to head to second and extend his single, but not before the Miners score once again. Big inning for the Matsu Miners. They score 5 runs on 5 hits. That's got to be some relief for the starter, Asa Lacey, who heads back on the mound, and we'll see him when we come back on Matsu Miner Radio. Matsu Miners coming out on fire, trying to break this 4-game losing streak, scoring 5 runs in the home half of the first inning. As the Bucs bring back up the bats in this top half of the second inning. As Asa Lacy, much like he did in his last appearance, set the Bucs down 3 in a row with only 1 strikeout, rather, though, this time around, as he misses high and away for ball 1. Standing in is the left-handed hitting Jake Veith. Veith supporting that nice big beard as Lacy misses again on the outer edge. Veith out of Gonzaga University. Few guys from Gonzaga in this Bucs roster as Veith swings through for strike number 2, rather. And Lacy ahead in the count 1-2 as he looks for his second strikeout of the night, 5th on the season. He winds and fires. Just misses low for ball 2. Count tied at 2 to Jake Veith. Veith, along with that big beard, this is only his 3rd game as a Buck. 5 for 8 through the first 2. He looks at a ball on the outer edge, so he's worked the count full. So that 5 for 8 so far, definitely doing a nice job for Anchorage. He's already driven in 5 runs along with that, and a couple of doubles to add to it. The full count pitch is skied into center field. Ranging back is Quiggle. He is camped under it after sort of jogging over to his left to make out number 1. So a strong hit there by Veith. But nothing doing.
Center fielder number 1, Logan Enos.
So with 1 down, stepping in is the center fielder, Logan Enos. Right-handed hitting. So righty on lefty matchup. Left-hander Asa Lacy. First pitch to Enos has him swinging through. Enos, I don't think, was expecting a first pitch fastball. As Lacy's ahead in the count, 0-1. His 0-1 pitch. Home plate umpire saying he won again. So Lacy ahead early, 0-2. Lacy's 0-2 offering is high and inside once again, but this time will just miss. So far, Asa Lacy has gotten ahead in every single at-bat. His 1-2 is blooped into the right side of the infield. And grabbing it a few steps over from second base is Danny Wright for out number 2 of the inning. So I tell you what, after Lacy watches some great hitting performance from the Miners, he's coming back on the mound and delivering a wonderful performance of his own.
Well, the thing that's key to his success right now is he's pitching in. You know, he's hitting his fastball inside, you know, keeping the hitters guessing. They're going with a changeup, but he's pitching well inside, which is really what's helping him.
You mentioned inside. He misses there around the knees, but that's all right. You can miss one from here and there, Mr. Lacy. His 1-0 misses high and in for ball number 2. Stepping in as second baseman Tanner Treadaway. He hails from Justin, Texas. And the 2-0 pitch is skied over to the right side, heading towards that Matsu Miners bullpen over there. And will drop for strike number 1. And this is not a tough Bucs lineup to face. They have a team average of 251. That's second best right now in the ABL. And they've also poured in 34 runs, which is also second best, as Lacy's 2-1 is lined out into center, but ranging back and making the overhead catch is Kona Quiggle for out number 3. So Lacy's seen 6, and he's also set down 6. The Miners will come back. We'll see if they can keep these bats alive in the home half of the second inning on Matsu Miner Radio. We welcome you back into Herman Brothers Field, where the Miners, with a commanding 5-0 lead, real early in this ball game. We're only in the second inning. Miners poured in 5 runs back in the first inning. And is this deja vu? Well, it is, because the Miners went through all 9 hitters in their last inning. So Drew Swift, once again, will lead off another inning. This time in the second inning. Swift started us off. He grounded out to short for the first out, just before Miners' bats came rolling in. So Snavely misses low and in. He's still on the mound after giving up those 5 runs in the home section of the first inning. His wind and pitch is lined by Swift. That's out towards right center field, all the way back near the wall. Making the catches, Hines, for out number 1. So Drew Swift with the long out, but it is an out for out number 1. So that brings up the man that started it all last inning. Austin Pinerini reached on a walk. Pinerini obviously coming around to score off Hunter Jump's 2 RBI double. Pinerini, real nice at-bat in his last at-bat. Had the count full, and this time pops one over to the right side. That one's well foul. And he drops down to 0-1. Pinerini working the count full against Snavely for inevitably drawing a walk. So the wind tonight is blowing from left field all the way over to right field. Pinerini looks at a ball low and away. Tie up the count at 1. Some real strong bursts, strong wind, we should say. That American flag in center field is from left to right. Pinerini looks at the first strike second strike of the at-bat to move the count to 1-2. Pinerini, one of multiple men out of Gonzaga in this game tonight, as he just finished up his junior year. As he lifts one into foul territory over the left side, Correa calls for it. He catches it for out number 2 of the inning.
Now batting your
Pinerini sort of walks back as he walks back to the dugout, holding onto his back. There have been some pain there. So 2 down brings up the first baseman, Spencer Henson. Henson reached on a big double back in his first at-bat last inning, and then came around to score the second run of the ball game for the Miners. Henson stands in from the right side, has a slightly open stance. He looks at a breaking pitch come in the inside for strike number 1.
I know with Pinerini, he has a little back tightness, and he's been working with the trainer to try to loosen it up and get it back to healthy.
As Snavely winds and delivers the 0-1, misses inside. And you mentioned working with the trainer. We have a great training staff here in Palmer, everyone willing to help. And he did have some ice, we noticed a few games ago, to ice that back up. So trying to take all the right steps to get that back healthy. That was a play on words as Snavely delivers a strike on the outer edge. Tonight it's Napa Auto Parts Day at the park here at Herman Brothers Field. And Napa Auto Parts Alaska, also the official sponsor, Matsu Miners Internet Broadcast. And Spencer Henson will swing through a high fastball for strike number 3 and out number 3 of the inning. So this time the Miners bats stay quiet as they go down in order 1, 2, 3. They still lead though 5-0 as we roll into the third inning. Miners 5, Bucs 0 as we head into the visiting half of the third inning. Asa Lacey dealing out there on the mound has seen 6, set down 6,
Daniel Fredrickson.
and looking to change that for the Bucs is the left fielder Daniel Fredrickson. He also swings from the left side. So lefty on lefty matchup to start the third inning. And Lacey's pitch into Fredrickson misses high. So Connor, you mentioned Lacey really liked to work that inside part of the plate. Shows right there that it doesn't matter which side or of the plate the batter's batting, he's going to work inside.
Absolutely. You can't have the batter get too comfortable whenever they step onto your plate. That's the kind of mentality you have to have when you're on the mound.
As he works inside again to deliver a strike. His 1-1. It's the outside corner for strike 2. And you got to have that confidence as a pitcher to know your spot and just work with it. And if it's working, keep going there. Don't lose that focus, even though you may throw a few first pitch balls here and there. But Lacey just showing that he is not backing down. His 1-2 misses low and in around the knees for ball 2. Miners coming in tonight with the third best ERA, 3.46 team total ERA. And Lacey's 2-2 is fouled over to the left side. And they face a Bucs team that has the league leading and lowest at 1.55. But the Miners obviously not worried about that as they have already tacked on 5. Lacey's 2-2 actually will hit Fredrickson. So the Bucs will have their first base runner of the night after Lacey hits Fredrickson on that backside knee.
And that's the danger when you go inside. Sometimes you get too far inside. But still, he was able to locate his pitches before, and he's got to settle down now and get able to locate it again.
And yeah, so this will be the first time he's going to work out of the stretch tonight. But as you just mentioned, Connor, can't lose that confidence in something that has worked for 6 straight batters just off 1 pitch. So Lacey delivers and misses the low fastball, bring the count to 1-0. That brings in the catcher, Jose Ruiz. Ruiz sort of struggling out of the gate for the Bucs. 3 of 20 to start this season. Has driven in 2, though, as he swings through a fastball from Lacey to bring the count to 1-1. Lacey, and just adds to this personalities, group full of personalities in this Miners locker room. Very outgoing. The big Texan kicks and fires. Just misses inside for ball 2. Lacey was actually drafted out of high school, the 31st round of the 2017 MLB draft by the Cleveland Indians. Deciding to forego that and head in playing to college ball. And I would imagine he's looking to raise that draft stock throughout his 3, maybe 4 years at A&M as he misses low and away. But his career stats, as he played 3 seasons, sophomore, junior, and senior, went 19-4. His ERA was under 1 in his senior year. As there's a man on the move, and Lacey walks Ruiz. So back-to-back walks issued by Asa Lacey. First hitting Fredrickson, and then on balls to Ruiz.
Now batting first base number 3, Dane Stankiewicz.
So this is the first time tonight we have seen Lacey sort of struggle out the gates, and we'll have a quick break here as pitching coach Jeff Erlab takes a trip to the mound. With this break, we'd like to thank the official sponsor of the Matsu Miners Internet broadcast, the Napa Auto Parts of Alaska, and owner Jim Ruda, and also there's a Miners jersey giveaway going on currently. Go to your locally owned and operated Napa store to enter and win today. Once again, thank you to the Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and owner Jim Ruda for sponsoring the Matsu Miners broadcast. Again, this is Brad Walker, and alongside me is Connor Mills tonight. We've been bringing you Miners coverage all year long, and we'll continue to do so with a big smile on our faces. We're here in the top half of the third inning. Miners leading the Bucs 5-0. And stepping into the plate is the left-handed hitting Dane Stankiewicz, who's also playing first tonight. So the 9 batter for the Bucs looks to bunt, pulls back, and will actually be a called strike on the inside part. So lefty on lefty matchup. Miners jumping out to that quick lead, 5-0. Back in the first inning. And Lacey so far has been dominant. This is the first brink tonight as he hits that outside corner for strike 2. Stankiewicz was looking to bunt, but pulled back thinking it was a ball. Well, he was wrong.
Well as Lacey was pitching inside, now he's painting that outside corner, which is making Stankiewicz believe it's a ball, but it's a pretty good strike.
And the best pitchers will do that. They work inside out or outside in. As Lacey lifts the knee and turns around to move Fredrickson back to second. The Bucs have 2 men on top of the third inning. Nobody out. They do trail, however, 5-0. Lacey's 0-2 is fouled straight back by Stankiewicz. Stankiewicz, teammates with Quiggle and the catcher Vitia back at school. He's from Grand Canyon. Ultimately hails from Gilbert, Arizona. Stankiewicz on the season 4 of 14 so far. Has an RBI to show for it. As he's down in the count 0-2 to Asa Lacey. His 0-2 is lifted into right. Hunter jump camped under it. Tagging and running is Fredrickson. The throw down is cut off, rather past Swift and into third. Not in time, though. Fredrickson is successful on the tag and advance. So he'll advance on the sac fly, which was originally supposed to be a sac bunt from Stankiewicz. But I guess advancing the man from second over to third doesn't hurt. But ultimately, I'm sure head coach Ken Hokoff wanted to have runners on second and third currently. But we'll have to settle.
Well, either way, they move a base runner over from second to third. It's not what they wanted, but they're still in business here with only 1 out.
Runners on the corners, 1 down. Top of the third inning, Miners leading 5-0. Lacey's first pitch to the leadoff batter, Willie Escala, I should say. Gets him swinging through. As David Vitia calls time, walks in front of home plate, delivers a play. So with Escala, if you remember back in the first inning, really extended it for the Miners as there was a ground ball hit over to him. He sort of fumbled with it, and the Miners tacked on 3 more after that point. As Lacey misses low for ball 1. Escala from Miami, Florida, also attends the University of Miami in Florida. As Lacey's 1-1, he checks back over at first to keep Ruiz close. Ruiz with not a great lead on the lefty Lacey, but checking just in case. Could be a rhythm thing for Asa Lacey, who's kind of been shaken out of it so far this inning. Starting off this inning with 2 walks, a hit by pitch, and then a base on balls. Both men still on for the Bucs with 1 down in the top of the third as Haley checks over again. Lacey's been pitching with a 5-run lead ever since the first inning after he shut down the Bucs in the top of the first. Miners gave him that nice big lead to work with as he misses high and away for ball 2. Brings the count to 2-1. The Bucs' second highest scoring team with 34 runs in the ABL this season to start. Lacey's 2-1 to Escala is swung through and missed for strike 2. Count tied at 2 as shortstop Drew Swift calls some time to talk to Asa Lacey.
Well, Swift must have noticed something either about the base runner over at first, or he has an idea of what's in the mind of the batter in Escala, imparting some wisdom for Lacey.
And And the pitcher, Lacey, will take any help he can get from his minor teammates. His 2-2 is grounded over to short, over to second for one, and the throw to first is not in time and will actually get past Henson and head to the wall. So the Bucs get their first run of the game on a fielder's choice as Fredrickson scored before the throw over to first. So Willie Escala will reach and then move over to second off the error. So 2 down for the Miners after the Bucs tack on their first run of the game.
Well, Danny Wright playing second base. This is his first game there, and he just has to get used to fielding those double plays. Hasn't had a lot of practice. A little rusty, but he'll get there.
So Lacey's first pitch into Van de Break misses. Low and away. Bring the count to 1-0. Miners still hold that 4-score lead as they are winning 5-1. Lacey comes set, checks second. His 2-1 is softly lined over to second and takes a weird hop and bounces by Lacey. The throw into home to get Escala, which is just not in time. Oh, and some escalating events here as Escala must have said something or did something to Avitia as Escala stomped on the plate, must have not agreed as benches have cleared here in Palmer.
Well, it really looks like Avitia pointed down at the dirt and said, hey, you never touched home plate. And then he stomped on home plate. Avitia gave him a little shove, and that's where we are right now.
So both benches clearing. Multiple guys having to be held back on both sides as emotions have escalated here at Herman Brothers Field. And seems like there will be no ejections. Everyone will stay in the game for both teams.
You just got to love when the bullpen just comes running in. The emotions are running high. You're on a 4-game losing streak. This is a game that you want to win. You know, like these are the times where you got to stand up for each other.
And the Miners really do. And that's a team thing. Having your guys back. Avitia, obviously, by himself at home plate with the Bucs shortstop. And all guys, as the 3 umpires adjourn and give both benches a warning, and rightfully so, as they both came out. And actually, Ben Taylor going to come have a chat, and I'm sure he's going to talk and say that Escala sort of started all of this, and he's not understanding why his guys just retaliated, rightfully so, when it was right in front of home plate umpires' eyes.
Well, they're going to have a candid discussion.
As the Bucs manager also comes out as well, Ken Hokoff, to be involved in conversation. So we see some smiles on the Miners' faces, so they seem to move on from it. They still hold a 5-2 lead, and if you're wondering what sort of escalated everything, Willie Escala advanced to third off the right error, and then the throw was just off, or rather, they couldn't quite get to it, and Escala came in to score, and we're not sure if he actually scored or not, but then got in the face of Avitia, who pushed back and started everything. Man on the move, Avitia's throw down is just not in time. Oh, I'm sure Avitia really wanted to gun him down. It was really a great throw, but just missed getting Van de Break. So your score after all of that is at 5-2 now. Miners still leading as Correa lines one over to the right side, foul, to bring the count to 2-1. 3-1 rather. Lacey comes set. He'll hop off the rubber. His pitch. just misses high. Bring the count to 3-1. To J.C. Correa, who struck out back in the first inning. And Van de Breek stands on second. The pitch is lofted over into the right side of the field. Ties the count at 2. So Lacy looking for his second strikeout of the game. His pitch. Correa lines one over the head of second baseman Danny Wright into right field. Jump will throw it into second, but not before the Bucs tack on one more. And what has been an explosion of offense now for the Anchorage Bucs to bring the score to 5-3. And after cruising through the first few innings, or rather brings the score to 5-4. After cruising through the first 2 innings, Lacy a little shaken up, giving up 4 so far. His first pitch into Jake Veith is fouled over to the left side to bring the count to 0-1. 2 outs, top of the 3rd inning. A lot has happened, whether it be on the ball field or off the ball field. And your score is 5-4. Miners still lead. Rather, score is 5-3. Lacy misses on an outside pitch, 1-1. 2 outs, top of the 3rd inning. We apologize for the score update. It is 5-3, Miners leading. The big-handed Lacy from the stretch. His pitch swung on and missed for strike number 2. So Lacy trying to get out of this wild and roller coaster of a 3rd inning. Already have seen the benches cleared so far in this game. Man on first for the Bucs. Lacy comes set from the chest. He checks back over to Correa, who did not make it back in time. Count still 1-2. 2 down, top of the 3rd inning. Scores 5-3. Lacy's pitch. Big breaker that just misses on the inside part of the plate. Now wind still blowing from left to right as Veith flew out to the center fielder Quiggle in his last at-bat. The 2-2 from Lacy. Grounds it right up the middle, making the play and flipping it back, but no one was rather Swift makes the great play, great barehanded catch to tag Correa for out number 3 of the inning. So what a wild 3rd inning that was, as the Miners will bring out their bats to try to extend their lead as the Bucs tack on 3. Miners leading the Bucs 5-3 as we enter the bottom half of the 3rd inning. So what already has been
Fielder
a
number
crazy
14,
third inning to
Hunter
start in the home
Young.
half. Both benches clearing and the Bucs tacking on 3 runs to bring the Miners lead to within 2. Miners scoring 5 in that first inning. They lead 5-3. As a left-handed hitting right fielder, Hunter Jump steps in. He sends a bullet out to center field, right into Eanes' mitt for out number 1.
Now batting, your second baseman, number 7, Danny Wright.
And that brings up Danny Wright. The switch hitting second baseman out of Southeast Missouri. The leader actually currently in the ABL in batting average, as he snavely misses high and away. Second pitch into right, misses low. So Danny Wright, 9 of 22 to start this season. Definitely had a great go of things. Reached on a fielder's choice back in his first at-bat in the first inning. Was one of those 5 runs to come around and score. As he looks at ball 3, low and away, and Preston Snavely has fell behind to Danny Wright. Snavely's 3-0. Taking all the way is Wright, who looks at a strike in the lower part of the plate. Counts at 3-1. Miners leading the Bucs 5-3. Bucs scored 3 in the top half of this third inning as Danny Wright looks at a low strike. Bring the count full. Strike, or rather, Wright really not in agreement with that strike call. The 3-2. Fouled straight back from Wright to keep the count at 3-2. This past spring at Southeast Missouri, Wright through 50 games played, batted .258, had 29 RBIs, and had 3 long balls. He stands in. Preston's full count. Misses low and into right, who will take that and jog on over to first. And the Miners not getting any base runners last inning. They get one on, however, in this inning. As that's Preston Snavely's second walk of the game so far. And that brings up Aaron Walters, the designated hitter, who reached back in the first inning off Escala's error as Snavely misses low and in, which ultimately sparked the Miners into scoring 3 more runs in that 5-run first inning. Snavely's 1-0 from the stretch is lined right back to first and making the snag, turning around, and then tagging right out is Stankiewicz, and he sort of did it with some authority and then kind of glared back at Wright. So the tension's still high here in Palmer. We move on into the 4th inning. Miners lead the Bucs 5-3 on Matsu Miner Radio.
Welcome back into the top of the 4th inning. It's the Miners taking on the Bucs. 5-3 is your score. On the scoreboard, 5 runs on 5 hits for the Miners. They have 2 errors. For the Bucs, 3 runs on 1 hit and they have an era of their own. We're coming to you live from Herman Brothers Field here in Palmer, Alaska. Connor Mills, Brad Walker with you on the call. Asa Lacey so far struggled a little bit last inning, but his previous two sat 6 in a row. He's looking to get back to that form here in the top of the 4th. Logan Enos at the plate. He flew out to the second baseman his last time at the plate, and the pitch from Lacey is bunted foul towards the left side.
What an exciting last inning that was. Both benches clearing, and I think it actually worked out in Lacey's favor because he sort of almost settled down and got some more outs after it happened.
The second pitch from Lacey is too far outside to even up the count of 1-1. It was a confusing and wild inning last time up for the Bucs as Enos swings through that one, brings the count to 1-2. But I think we scored it correctly. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Asa Lacey.
Now batting, second baseman number 16.
Lacey strikes out Logan Enos for the first out here in the top of the 4th. So Lacey getting back to form right on cue. 1 out, top of the 4th. Miners over the Bucs 5-3. At the plate, Tanner Treadway. He flew out to center his last time up. Lines this one right up the middle and will be on first base with a single.
Now batting, catcher number 15, Jose Ruiz.
So 1 pitch and a single for Tanner Treadway will bring up Daniel Fredrickson. Fredrickson, the left fielder. He got things started in the 3rd. He was hit by a pitch and then came around to score. But it wasn't until the 2nd run scored where tempers flared. So Fredrickson at the plate. Lays down this bunt. It's a good one. Nobody covering over at first base. Henson had to move out of the way, and now there are runners on first and second. So a hard bunt into the middle of nowhere puts Fredrickson on first. Moves over Tanner Treadway to second, and Lacey will have to pitch out of trouble for the 2nd straight inning here in the top of the 4th inning. There is 1 out. Miners are leading 5-3. Lacey versus Jose Ruiz.
Now batting, catcher number 15, Jose Ruiz.
Ruiz reached base on a walk, then was put away on a fielder's choice. So Ruiz batting from the right side. First pitch from Lacey's too far outside. Puts the count at 1-0. Runners at first and second. 1 out. Top of the 4th inning. Lacey pitching from the stretch. And he deals. Swung on and missed for strike number 1. So Ruiz has 3 hits so far in the ABL. Batting average around 150. Lacey's set. Pitch fouled back towards the right side. So Lacey ahead in the count 1-2. 1 out here in the top of the 4th. We finally got the scoreboard situation all settled out there. 3 hits for the Bucs, all coming in that top of the 3rd. Fastball from Lacey's too far outside, puts the count at 2-2. Lots of emotion out there on the field as the Miners look to snap their 4-game losing streak. The pitch into Ruiz. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Asa Lacey with 2 strikeouts for 2 outs, as he needs to get 1 more to shut the door here on the top of the 4th.
Big strikeout from Lacey there. Nice breaking pitch. Had Ruiz on his toes. Now a great way to boost back up Lacey's confidence.
So he still has to deal with runners at first and second. Over at second, Tanner Treadway. At first, Daniel Fredrickson. At the plate, Dan Stankiewicz as he lines this one shallow right field. It's going to be caught by the second baseman, Danny Wright, and the side is retired. So on 2 hits, no runs, no errors, 2 left on base for the Bucs as the Miners are coming to the plate in the bottom of the 4th. You're listening to the Mat-Su Miners on the Miner Radio. David Avitia stepping in here in the bottom of the 4th inning. The Mat-Su Miners are leading the Anchorage Bucs 3-5. We're coming to you live from Herman Brothers Field here in Palmer, Alaska. Good attendance. And it's not too hot. Pitch from Snavely is taken for a called strike. Count is at 0-1. So Avitia swinging a miss it here, but had a 2 RBI single in the bottom of the 1st. He brought home Danny Wright and Aaron Walters in that 5-run 1st inning. As the count now goes to 1-2 with the pitch too far outside. And Avitia was in the middle of the benches clearing altercation as no punches were thrown as he takes a fastball skipped in the dirt for ball number 2.
He pretty much started really the physical part of it.
Well, he turned around and said, hey, he never touched home plate. He being Ennis when he was coming around to score. I'll tell you more after this pitch. Swung on a missed by David Avitia, but it's going to be a drop ball. Avitia running all the way over to first, but the throw is going to be in time from Ruiz. So David is out by the strikeout. So anyway, Avitia says he never touched the plate and has then escalated things by walking over to the plate and stomping on it, much to the dislike from Avitia. He gave him a little shove, and next thing you knew, all the bullpens were coming down. Kona Quiggle at the plate now. He had a single in his first at-bat. Reached third. Or reached second as he takes the second pitch in from Preston Snavely for a ball. Evens up the count at 1-1. 1-1, 1 out. Here in the bottom of the fourth inning. Miners leading the Bucs 3-5. Snavely's pitch swung on and fouled back towards the left side. Brings the count to 1-2.
And it's funny that tempers flare tonight because before the game, walking around, a lot of these Miners players and Bucs players met up with each other and said hi, seemed to mingle a little bit as a lot of friends maybe.
And that's strike 3. So Kona Quiggle going down on strikes. And back to your point, there are a lot of college teammates on both teams. We have Grand Canyon University here on both sides of the field, and Gonzaga, of course, with Austin Pianarini and Jake Veith. First pitch into Tyler Bozzetti is in there for a called strike. So there are some friendships off the field, but on the fields, these are Miners and these are Bucs. Bozzetti, his first time up, had an RBI single, got thrown out at second trying to extend it on the throw. So Bozzetti came into today with a 200 batting average. As he lines this one into left field, moving over is Fredrickson, and he's not going to be able to get it. Rounding first and heading towards second, slipping a little bit is Tyler Bozzetti. He's sliding in. Safe. It's a call, and Tyler Bozzetti gets the Miners cooking here in the bottom of the fourth. There are 2 outs, and now the top of the lineup.
Number 2, Drew Swift.
So Bozzetti, a single and now a double today, as he doubles right along the left field line.
Kid is having himself a day. Look to keep it going as these Miners hitters are having a day really in general.
This is also the first time Bozzetti is in that 9 spot. I'd say he's feeling pretty comfortable. So Drew Swift, in his 3rd time to the plate, takes the first strike in from Snavely. And the bottom of the first, he grounded out to third. Bottom of the second, flew out to center. Swift looking to get his speed on the bases. Snavely looks back at second. Now here's the pitch. Taken too far outside. Evens up the count at 1-1. 2 outs here on the bottom of the fourth. Tyler Bozzetti on second base. He had a double. Drew Swift at the plate. Preston Snavely on the mound for the Bucs. A stare back at Bozzetti. Nobody's covering the bag, so he's safe. And the pitch from Snavely. This one's lined into right field for a base hit. Rounding third is heading home is Tyler Bozzetti. The throw is not going to be in time. Sliding headfirst is Bozzetti. And standing on second base, extending the Miners' lead to 6-3 is Drew Swift. Swift getting his first hit of the day. An RBI single as he goes to second base on the throw. Bozzetti scores, and the Miners now lead the Bucs 6-3 here in the bottom of the fourth inning. Their first score since they scored 5 in the bottom of the first. Austin Pianarini at the plate now, in search for his first hit as he takes a strike from Snavely. Pianarini today walked, came around to score in the bottom of the first. In the bottom of the second, flew out to third base. And we are here in the bottom of the fourth. 2 outs, runner on second base, Drew Swift. Pianarini at the plate. Preston Snavely pitching from the stretch. He deals, swung on, and this one is looped over into foul territory, and it's going to go out of play. 6-3 the lead. Miners over the Bucs. 6 runs, 7 hits, 2 errors for the Miners. 3 runs, 3 hits, and an error for the Bucs. 0-2 the count, 2 outs here in the bottom of the fourth. Swift standing on second. Now he gets his lead. being held close by the shortstop Escala. Pinarini looking to stay alive. He swings and a tapper over towards third base. Stankiewicz has it, steps on first, and the side is retired. So on 2 hits, 1 run, no errors. 1 left on base. The Miners extend their lead over the Bucs 6-3. You're listening to the Mat-Su Miners on the Miner Radio.
Leading off the Bucs, shortstop number 4, Willie Escala.
We're here in the top of the 5th inning. Miners extended their lead by 1. It's 6-3 here as Escala, who escalated things in the 3rd, takes the first pitch from Lacey in there for a called strike. Lacey quickly dealing, swing and a miss from Escala. Count now goes to 0-2.
I'd love to have a mic right at home plate right now for the words exchanged between Avitia and Escala.
The 0-2. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Asa Lacey, 3 pitches, 1 out.
Right fielder number 2, Jace Vanderbrake.
We'd like to remind everybody that the official sponsor of the Mat-Su Miners internet broadcast is Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and the owner, Jim Ruda. We'd also like to make of note there's a Miner jersey giveaway. Go to your locally owned and operated Napa store to enter and win. And oh, by the way, it's Napa Auto Parts Day here at Herman Brothers Field. First pitch from Lacey into Vandenbrake is going to be hit into left center field, and that's going to fall for a base hit and maybe more. Rounding second and heading for third is Vandenbrake, and he's going to hold up the brakes as he stays at second. A good recovery by Austin Pinarini as Conequiggle attempted to catch the ball in the air. It got by him. And now with 1 out here in the top of the 5th inning, the Bucs have a runner in scoring position.
Another great effort from center fielder Conequiggle, who just barely missed it on the dive. And luckily for the Miners, I had a nice hop off the wall. And the newly inserted left fielder Pinarini made a nice play on it.
So that brings up J.C. Correa as he takes the first pitch for a called strike. Correa today struck out in the top of the 1st. Reached base with a single in the top of the 3rd. And takes a ball to even up the count at 1-1. So 1-1 the count, 1 out. Runner at second base. That's Jace Vandenbrake. Asa Lacey on the mound. He deals. Swung in and missed for strike number 2. So 1-2 the count. 1 out. Miners leading the Bucs 6-3 on 7 hits. Lacey hoping to keep them at 3 as he spins around and tries a pickoff play, but nobody's there. He keeps Vandenbrake close at second. Outfield shifted a little towards right with a right-handed batter up. Correa takes the pitch too far outside from Lacey, evens up the count at 2-2. Bassetti playing back at third. Swift middle infield. Closer to second than he is to third. And the pitch from Lacey. Swung on and just nubbed foul. So 2-2 the count, 1 out. Henson's playing back at first, and near the grass is second baseman Danny Wright. Outfield still sort of shifted towards right. Koenig-Quiggle playing out there as that one is fouled towards the right side. The count remains at 2-2. Asa Lacey in a battle with J.C. Correa. Six pitches in, about to have the seventh pitch right here. Lacey steps off the mound and keeps Van de Breek from going any further. So we still have a 2-2 count. Lacey looking back. Now he pitches. Outside. Ball 3. So the count is full. First base is open with a runner on second. Van de Breek is on second with a double.
And with first base open, you wouldn't want to mind missing with the heart of this Bucs order coming up.
Swung on and popped towards the right side. That's going out of play. So the count remains at full. 3-2, 1 out here in the top of the fifth inning. Miners leading the Bucs 6-3. J.C. Correa at the plate, batting from the right side. The lefty deals, and it's too far outside, ball 4. So Asa Lacey
Now batting.
walks his second batter today. And now there are runners on first and second with 1 away.
Lacey, his struggle is when he gets ahead of batters is when he's really dominant. It's just when he starts to fall behind, hasn't been able to quite come back, and that's where you see the runs and hits start to come from the Bucs.
So pitching coach Jeff Erlab, one of the coaches over at Horizon High School in Phoenix, Arizona, going to have a chat with Asa Lacey. And at this time, a public service announcement from the Alaskan Railroad and Operation Lifesaver. The Alaskan Railroad and Operation Lifesaver would like to remind our friends and neighbors when approaching railroad crossing, always expect a train. Look, listen, live. And we'd like to give a big thank you out to Alaskan Airlines, the official sponsor of Matsu Minor Travel. Without them, nobody would be here today, except for the 4 miners that live here in Alaska.
Lacey.
So there's still 1 out. Runners on first and second.
Lacey looking to get a big double play here to possibly end the inning and get out of this 5th inning unscathed.
Lacey from the stretch, he deals. Swung on, and this one is popped towards the right side, giving chase over and right as Hunter jump, but he's going to run out of room. Over the Miners bullpen. As it looks like Nathan Bach might be warming up. We're not sure on that, but we know a Miner is warming up in the bullpen. As for the Bucs, they have 1 Buck out there as well. Both runners are moving. The throw from Avitia is too late as he tries to get the trail runner on the double steal. As Jake Veith now has 2 runners in scoring position.
You know, interesting going for the second runner there from Avitia. I understand that maybe he would have gotten a later jump since he is the runner from first, but the runner for third is obviously going to be closer. Interesting move from Avitia, but he has thrown a few guys out already this year, so if he thought it was right, it probably was.
And the 1-1 is fouled towards the right side. So 1-2 the count now. Runners at second and third. And back to Avitia. I think he looked over at third, realized he didn't have enough time, try to get the trail runner, which is usually a little bit later when you attempt a double steal. So 1 and 2, the count, 1 out. Miners are leading the Bucs 6-3. We're coming to you live from Herman Brothers Field as Aviti is going to go out to the mound and have a little chat with Asa Lacy. And Swift also offering words of encouragement as they look to get out of the top of the 5th unscathed with their 6-3 lead still intact. Tall task right now for Asa Lacy with runners at 2nd and 3rd. Pitching to the lefty, Jake Veith. He lines this one through the hole, and that's going to be for a base hit. Coming around to score is Jace Vandebrake, and holding at 3rd is J.C. Correa. Standing on 1st with an RBI single is Jake Veith. So now there are runners at the corners, and manager Ben Taylor is going to come out, and it looks like we'll see a pitching change. So Asa Lacy giving up 4 runs. Only 3 were earned. As we'll come back with the official stat line for Lacy, and we'll also let you know who the new pitcher is. You're listening to the Matsu Miners Radio. We'll see you next. So the final stat line on Asa Lacy, 4 1/3 innings pitched. He allowed 5 hits, 4 runs. Only 2 were earned. 2 walks and 4 strikeouts. Coming in to relieve him has been the Miners' main relief guy, Nathan Bach. Bach steps in here with runners at the corners. 1 runner's already in here in the top of the 5th inning. Score is 6-4 Miners. Over at first base is Jake Veith. On third is J.C. Correa. First pitch into Logan Enos is too high for a ball. So 1-0 the count, 1 out. So far, Bach, 6 1/3 innings pitched. He's appeared in 4 games. And that pitch misses for a ball. Brings the count to 2-0. Bach, 5 hits, only allowed 1 run. Struck out 7. Has a save for the Miners. And an ERA currently at 1.42. Runners on the bases right now are charged to Asa Lacey. Should they come around to score. So Bach is on the mound, pitching from the stretch. Runners on the corners. The pitch. This one is flied out into center field. Moving in is Kona Quiggle. Who's going to catch it? It will be Quiggle. Base runner does not tag at third as a strong throw is cut off by Spencer Henson. And now there are 2 away here in the top of the 5th. So Bach comes in relief and gets the first man to fly out to center for the second out.
Number 16, Tanner Treadaway.
That brings up Tanner Treadaway. So far, Treadaway today flew out to center and had a single.
Bach came in yesterday when it was a close game and doing the same tonight for the Miners. Definitely been a big reliever. A lot of ice in his veins. Isn't scared to come in the big moment. And the Miners need it right now, only up 2.
So Bach looking to limit the damage here in the top of the 5th inning. 1 run is already in. Bach's pitch taken for a called strike. Jake Veith at first. J.C. Correa is at third. Nathan Bach on the mound. Outfield straight away. Quiggle playing towards the right of second base as a pitch is a breaking one inside for a called strike. Now ahead on Tanner Treadaway, 0-2. 0-2 the count, 2 outs. Top the 5th. Runners are at the corners for the Bucs. Miners still leading the Anchorage Bucs 6-4. Bach looking to hold that lead. And the pitch too far high for ball number 1. So 1-2 the count here in the top of the 5th inning. Not a big lead from Veith over at first. Nor is it a big lead from Correa at third. Box set and he deals. Swung on, and this one's grounded over to Danny Wright at second base. He fields it, fires over to first in time, and the side is retired. So the Bucs get 1 run on 2 hits, no errors, 2 left on base, as the Matsu Miners are coming to the plate in the bottom of the 5th. You're listening to the Matsu Miners on the Miner Radio.
Leading off the fifth for your
Matsu
Miners
Miners and the
number
Anchorage
35,
Bucs.
Spencer
This game is in the bottom of the fifth inning. New pitcher on for the Bucs, number 27, Alex Siegel from Scottsdale, Arizona, a freshman at Wichita State University. He's in here against Spencer Henson, who swings through the first pitch and brings the count to 0-1.
Back-to-back shockers on the mound for the Bucs.
This one is tapped over towards the left side. Fielding it is Siegel, but the throw is not in time. Off the base is the call, and Spencer Henson is on first with an infield single. Good hustle from Spencer Henson as he stands on first. So Siegel comes in to relieve Preston Snavely, who went 4 innings, allowed 7 hits, 6 runs, 5 were earned, 2 walks, and 3 strikeouts. Siegel comes in relief, gives up an infield single to Spencer Henson, and we are here with Hunter Jump at the plate, who takes the first pitch in from Siegel for a ball.
Last night, we see Spencer Henson with a triple, and tonight, we see Bubba with a infield single. You can truly see anything in this game.
Spencer Henson is just one of those athletes. As Jump takes a pitch for a called strike. Brings the count now to 1-1. Nobody out here in the bottom of the fifth. Miners are leading the Bucs 6-4. Last inning, Drew Swift had an RBI single to extend their lead to 6. As a lefty-on-lefty matchup happening right now. Hunter Jump takes the last pitch for a ball, brings the count to 2-1.
Back to Henson. That just shows that he's willing to do anything to get a win for this Miners team.
Swung on a miss from Hunter Jump, swinging at a outside pitch. Close enough to be a strike. So 2-2 the count. Nobody out here in the bottom of the fifth inning. Jump so far today had a 2 RBI single as he swings and misses at the Siegel pitch for out number 1. So Jump previously was on base with a single, has 2 RBIs, flew out to center field, and then just struck out swinging. That brings up Danny Wright, who coming into today was tied for second in the ABL in batting average. So Wright, a switch hitter batting from the right side. Takes the first pitch from Siegel too far inside for a ball.
Right, not getting a lot of right-handed at-bats to start the season. Hasn't seen a lot of lefties.
So Danny Wright coming in today, a .409 batting average in 22 at-bats. He has 9 hits, and make that 10. Danny Wright with his 10th hit of the season. A single as runners are at first and second with 1 out here in the bottom of the fifth inning with Aaron Walters at the plate. Walters, the designated hitter, reached base by error in the bottom of the first. Kept the train rolling then. And then in the third, had a line drive, but right at the first baseman. And it was a double play. So Danny Wright's on base with a single. Spencer Henson, an infield single. He's on second as Aaron Walters takes the first pitch in from Siegel for a called strike. 0-1, 1 out here in the bottom of the fifth. Miners now up to 9 hits. Walters swinging a miss. Puts the count at 0-2. So no balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Runners on first and second for the Miners. Alex Siegel, the lefty. The pitch swung on a miss from Walters. He goes down swinging. So 3 pitches. Gets Aaron Walters. And now that brings up David Avitia. Avitia in the first had a 2 RBI single and then struck out swinging his last time up. also has come around to score. So Vitia swinging a tapper right back to the pitcher, Siegel. He takes his time with it, underhand toss to first, and the side is retired. So no runs, 2 hits, no errors, 2 minors left on base as the Anchorage Bucs are going to come to the plate in the top of the 6th inning. You're listening to the Matsu Miners on the Miner Radio. It's the top of the 6th inning. Daniel Fredrickson is at the plate for the Bucs. The Matsu Miners are leading the Bucs 6-4 in the top of the 6th. And on for a second inning of relief is Nathan Bach. Bach out of Southeast Missouri, hometown O'Fallon. As Fredrickson taps this one foul, brings the count to 0-1. Nathan Bach has really been the main relief man for the Miners, coming up big in sticky situations. As righty pitching to the lefty, this one is poked out into center field. Moving back a couple steps is Kona Quiggle, who makes a one-handed grab, and there's one away. That brings up the catcher, number 15, Jose Ruiz. Ruiz so far today walked in the top of the 3rd. Also struck out swinging in the top of the 4th. He stands in from the right side against Nathan Bach. First pitch into Ruiz is grounded over to third baseman Bozzetti. He has it, takes a couple steps. Strong throw over to first in time, 2 away. So some short work here from Nathan Bach as he gets the first 2 Bucs. One flying out to center, one grounding out to third. And now looking to get the third out here in the top of the 6th as he faces Dan Stankiewicz. Stankiewicz so far today flew out to right field and popped out to second base in his 2 trips to the plate. He tries a bunt attempt, jumps out away of the inside pitch, and takes it for ball 1. So with the bunt attempts, infield is now more aware of what he might want to do as he takes that fastball from Bach in there for a called strike. Evens up the count at 1-1.
That could even be a tactic to bring the corners in, as now they're back.
1-1 the count. This one is grounded over to Swift at short. He fields it, fires on over to first, and a 1-2-3 inning for Nathan Bach. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. The Matsu Miners are coming to the plate in the bottom of the 6th. You're listening to the Matsu Miners on the Miner Radio. It's the bottom of the sixth inning. Your Matsu Miners are leading the Anchorage Bucs 6-4 with Kona Quiggle at the plate. On for his second inning of relief is Alex Siegel for the Bucs. As Kona Quiggle today singled in the first inning, struck out in the fourth. And here we see him in the bottom of the sixth. He takes the first pitch for a ball. A little bit too high for Kona Quiggle, even though Quiggle is listed as 6'2", as he takes that pitch for another ball. 2-0 the count, nobody out. Bottom of the sixth. Quiggle batting from the left side. Pitch from Siegel is taken on the inside corner for strike one. Quiggle doesn't think so. Asks the umpire where that one might have been, especially in relation to the first two pitches he saw. Anyway, that pitch is in the dirt, so that's a guaranteed ball. Ball number 3. 3-1 the count. Nobody out here in the bottom of the sixth. And Quiggle watches that one go in for a called strike. A good fastball from Alex Siegel.
Count full. Does Siegel go to that big breaker that he's already got a few strikeouts with?
And that one is too far inside. Kona Quiggle with the leadoff walk for the Miners. As they get things started here in the bottom of the sixth inning, brings up Tyler Bassetti. Bassetti has been hot so far today, looking to continue that streak. A single for an RBI in the first and in the fourth inning. A double when he came around to score. So Quiggle's on first with a leadoff walk. Tyler Bassetti batting from the right side. He attempts a bunt. This one gets down and just foul. Picked up by the catcher Ruiz. So it looked like out of the box, Tyler Bassetti might have been a sacrifice bunt, but he was going for a base hit with that bunt right out of the box.
Yeah, Bassetti definitely has the speed to beat out a bunt. Just dribbled foul. It originally looked like it might have was going to roll in fair territory.
So Bassetti now has a count at 0-1. Nobody out here in the bottom of the sixth. Quiggle is dancing a little bit, trying to get the attention of Siegel as this bunt is fouled. No, it's going to be a pass ball. Quiggle is rounding second. He's headed for third, and he will stand up as a pass ball goes all the way to the backstop. Good awareness from Quiggle. I thought that might have hit the bat of Tyler Bassetti as he attempted to bunt it, but it just went right by the catcher Ruiz. He took some time trying to find it, and by the time he did, Quiggle was already standing on first. So a passed ball gets charged to Ruiz. And now with nobody out, there's a runner on third for the Miners with Tyler Bassetti at the plate. Count is even at 1-1. The pitch from Siegel swung on and grounded right into Bassetti as he fouls it off. So Tyler Bassetti looking to get the job done once again, as he's 2 for 2 today. Quiggle's on third with good base running. And the pitch into Bassetti is fouled off towards the left side.
With that pass ball, Quiggle rounded second, had so much momentum that when he tried to stop, he just couldn't, and realized that he was going to have enough time to make it into third on the pass ball.
So Quiggle's on third with the pass ball. The pitch into Bassetti. This one is grounded straight back to the pitcher Siegel. He fields it. A light throw over to first. And there's one away here in the bottom of the sixth inning.
Now batting, your shortstop, number 2, Drew Swift.
So Drew Swift, his last time up, had an RBI single that was laced over the second baseman, and the infield is going to be in. Drew Swift batting from the right side. The pitch from Siegel is taken low for ball 1. Swift grounded out to third, flew out to center, and a RBI single in his 3 trips to the plate. He now deals with the infield in. Siegel pitching from the stretch. Lefty's pitch swung on, and this one's hit towards third. Charging in and can't field it is a third baseman, Correa, and Swift will be on first with an error. To make that 2 errors now for the Bucs. It's always tough whether to judge a single or an error for Drew Swift, as he has the speed to beat out most balls or slow balls grounded out into the infield. So it's going to be the official scoring decision, which will be a error charge to the third baseman, as Austin Pianarini is now on the plate and takes the first pitch in for a ball. Pianarini so far today walked in the first, came around to score, flew out to third, and then grounded out to the first baseman so far. Second one, this one's lined into center field, falling fast, and catching it is the shortstop. So Escalada catches the soft line drive from Austin Pianarini, as it looked like it was harder hit off the bat, but it just fell as soon as it went over second base. So the Miners are down 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th inning. They still lead 6-4, but they have runners in scoring position. Over on third base is Kona Quiggle. Standing on first is Drew Swift. The lefty Siegel stares at Swift as the first pitch is bouncing in the dirt and it gets away, and it actually hits Henson. Henson with a little limp as he heads over to first, as the first base coach Tyler LeBron is going to walk up to him and talk to him a little bit. Henson still hasn't touched first base yet as he gets his shin guard off, but it looks like that ball hit right off of the soft spot of his shin, and he's still hobbling. Spencer Henson walking slowly down the right field line, stops short of getting into the outfield grass. LeBron still talking to him as he's going to try to walk this one off. This is Henson's second game today. Still has a little bit of a limp, but he'll be standing on first as the bases are juiced for Hunter Jump.
Knowing Henson's competitive nature, I wouldn't imagine it's going to be pretty hard to pull him from this one, as it looks like he's going to stand in there and tough it out.
We'll see if the ball's put in play, how well Henson runs, but the first pitch into Hunter Jump is taken for a called strike. So the count is at 0-1, 2 outs. Bases are loaded for the Miners as they look to extend their lead. Right now, the lead is at 2, leading 6-4. Jump nubs this one right off of himself as well, as he hobbles a little bit. That one's got to hurt. So back-to-back Miners. One hit by a pitch. One fouled a pitch off his leg as he's still crouched, as he looks to get a practice swing in. He does. A little stretching it out. Another swing, and he's ready to step back in. So Alex Siegel is dealing with bases loaded situation in the bottom of the 6th. Jump. Does he go? He checked his swing, and the second base umpire says he did not go. So a little luck going towards Hunter Jump here in the bottom of the 6th, as the count is now at 1-2. 1-2, 2 out, bottom of the 6th. The pitch from Siegel swung on and lifted in foul territory. Moving over his first baseman, Stankiewicz. He has room, makes a catch, and the side is retired. So for the Miners, no runs, no hits, 1 error charged against the Bucs, and 3 men left on base as this game has progressed into the top of the 7th inning. You're listening to the Matsu Miners on the Miner Radio.
Welcome back into Herman Brothers Field as we enter the 7th inning. Miners leading the Bucs 6-4. Nathan Bach still on the mound for the Miners, as he could just retire one buck here. It would be his longest outing of the season. He's gone 2 innings on multiple occasions, but never longer. And in this rematch of last year's top of the World Series, Miners currently hold the edge, as the Miners beating the Bucs in a 2-1 3-game series to grab their 2nd title in a row, back-to-back champs. As Bach's first pitch into Willie Escala hits the inside edge. And the Miners, it is early in the season, but still an advantage of this rematch, World Series rematch. So still a long time from then, as Escala grounds one just over the bag on the left side, fair. He rounds first and will head into second with a leadoff stand-up double.
Well, now that's 2 balls that we've seen go towards that left side and just stay fair as it curls around the bag and then goes into foul territory. One was in favor for the Miners, another one right here in favor for the Bucs.
Well, Escala, the shortstop, reaches to start this inning. That brings up Jace Van Dake, the right fielder, out of Gonzaga. Van Dake coming into this game was 3 of 15. Today is 2 for 3, so definitely improving that batting average, and looks to do it again against Bach, and has a man on scoring position with no outs. First pitch from Bach is swung at. Check swung at for strike 1. Bach still looking for that first out, as there's a man up in the Miners' pen. Just playing catch right now, so not fully warm. Bach comes set from the stretch. His 0-1 misses outside for 1-1. And Bach, before heading to Southeast Missouri, actually played at Longview Community College before transferring into Southeast Missouri to join now minor teammate Danny Wright. Bach's 1-1. It's the zone for strike 2. He's ahead in the count. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Jace Van Break. Bach ahead in the count, looking for his first strikeout of the night. Bach was 7 already on the season. His 1-2 is blasted into right field. Jump is camped under it. Tagging at second is Escala. The throw down from Jump is a strong throw, but does not get there in time, as Van Break moves over the runner. And only 1 out. The Bucs have a man on third.
That was a really strong throw from Hunter Jump, as that was a 1 bouncer from midway in right field all the way to Bassetti at third. So a good throw, but just wasn't good enough as Escala moves over.
And Escala really has great speed out there on the base paths, so hard to get him down from wherever you are. Nevertheless, stepping in is the right-handed hitting J.C. Correa, who looks at strike 1 over the plate. 1 down. Miners leading the Bucs 6-4 in this top half of the 7th inning. Bach 0-1 nails the outside lower corner to bring the count to 0-2. So back-to-back at bats. Nathan Bach has come ahead. Looks to do the same as he did in the last at bat. Correa 1 for 2 on the day. Came into this game with 3 RBIs, as Avitias can't block it and will roll just outside behind him. And coming in to score is Escala for the 2nd time tonight. And the Bucs only trail by 1 now, as that lead dwindled for the Miners, 6-5. And the count moved to 2-2. That's Bach's first run given up tonight. Rather, 2nd run. I beg your pardon. It is his first run given up tonight. So 6-5. Miners still leading the top of the 7th inning. Bach on the mound. Facing Correa. The 2-2 pitch is grounded over to right, who ranges over to his left to make the crisp play for out number 2 of the inning.
Danny Wright, again, just getting used to second base. His first start there today. As he sees many other players are testing out different positions.
As pitching coach Jeff Erlab runs to the mound to talk to Bach. This is Bach's longest start of the season, her outing of the season, 2 2/3. And I'm sure Coach Erlab heading out there just to see if he's all right, see how the arm's feeling, as there's a man warming up in the Miners' pen. As this is the battle between the 2nd and 4th place teams in the ABL. The Bucs sit at 4-4 and are on a 3-game winning streak, and the Miners sitting at 3-5 on a 4-game skid. But the Miners right now have the advantage 6-5 and look to break their streak along with the Bucs. The righty on lefty matchup, as Jake Veith stands in, the designated hitter. He looks at a ball on the outer edge of the plate. Now wind still blowing strongly from left to right. And the sun starting to peek out more and more as we enter the later stages of this game. Bach gets Veith swinging through the 1-0 to move the count to 1-1. Veith, the designated hitter, only played 2 games for the Bucs, but definitely a hotter bat in the lineup. 1 for 3 on the day. As he looks at a ball and misses on the outer edge.
That curveball was so close to being a strike. It just didn't curve enough.
Yeah, typically you want that curveball to curve when you pitch it. And Bach misses high and away. Hitters count for Jake Veith with 2 down in the top of the 7th inning. Bucs have scored 1 already this inning to bring the lead to only 1 for the Miners. So we're at 6-5 here in Palmer. The Miners in this middle part of a 9-game stretch in 7 days. Bucs 3-1 to Veith. Fouled back over to the left side as the Miners start this week with a doubleheader, and they'll end this week with a doubleheader, which will actually be against the Bucs up in Anchorage. Last time the Miners traveled to Anchorage, it was to take on the Pilots, in which they split a doubleheader. This is the first time seeing the Bucs since last year's top of the World Series. The 3-2 up high. Veith checks his swing, but he did hold back, so Bach allows Veith on 4 balls.
Number 1,
That's Bach's first walk issued tonight, and making the walk from the dugout is head skipper Ben Taylor. We'll see a pitching change here with 2 outs in the top of the 7th inning. So give us a good opportunity to thank the Mugshot Saloon, Palmer Bar, and Panhandle Bar, and Tudor Bingo, your official sponsors of Matsu Miners Pull Tabs and gaming license usage, and the Nugget Booster Club gaming sponsor, Big Valley Bingo. We'd like to also thank our official sponsor of the Matsu Miners internet broadcast, Napa Auto Parts of Alaska, and owner Jim Ruda. Also, there's a Matsu Miners jersey giveaway. Go to your locally owned and operated Napa store to enter and win today. It's also Napa Auto Parts Day at the ballpark, Connor, so a lot of Napa Auto Parts employees and fans and customers in attendance today.
Napa Auto Parts, just one of those stores where it's community built. You just walk in and they give back to the community. It's a great overall thing.
So stepping in to the mound for the Miners and talk about another reliable reliever. It's the right-hander out of New Mexico, Malachi Emmond. Malachi stepping in. This year, we've seen him 3 appearances, and through 3 2/3 innings pitched, 9 strikeouts, and only allowing 1 hit and 4 walks, has a perfect ERA. And he did much of the same this past spring at New Mexico. Through 26 appearances, gathered up a record of 3-2 through 39 2/3 innings pitched. Had a 2.72 ERA, 2 saves, only giving up 30 hits and allowing 18 walks. And also had 56 strikeouts. Opponents only batting .211 off Malachi. Malachi was on some draft boards. Unfortunately, did not get drafted this past spring. Rather, a few weeks ago. But he's here helping the minors out as much as he can. So he'll step on. And the first batter he'll face is Logan Enos. And with Enos, we'll have 1 man on first. Top of the 7th inning, 2 down. Emmons pitch. Big breaker out there on the outer edge for strike number 1.
And that's really Malachi's pitch. He bends that slider right in for a strike. It's one of the best here in the ABL, if not in other leagues.
So Emmons 0-1 in there for a strike. 0-2, 2 down, top of the 7th. Logan Enos looking to keep this inning alive for the Anchorage Bucs. They've already scored 1 so far this inning. But Malachi Emmons in control. He's from the stretch with Veith on first. The 0-2. Called, third strike. Malachi Emmons doing what he does for out number 3 in the inning. And the Miners will bring it back in the bottom of the 7th to look to extend their lead once again when we come back on Matsu Minor Radio. Welcome back into Herman Brothers Field for this rematch of the top of the World Series between the final 2 teams left in the ABL last year, the Bucs and the Miners. Miners winning that back-to-back title. We're a long way from that point, but nevertheless, the Miners leading the Bucs 6-5 in the bottom of the 7th inning as Danny Wright stands in, switch hitting second baseman. Right up in the leaders for batting average. And the ABL currently has 1 hit on the night. Has reached twice as he looks at ball up and away. By Alex Siegel. Rather make that Wright has reached all 3 times tonight. He looks at another ball from Siegel. Miners leading 6-5. The 2-0 pitch is fouled over to the right side. And the Miners during this 4-game losing streak, it's not like the stats have been terribly bad. Batting .233, which is higher than their overall team average. Scoring 11 runs and have struck out 24 times in this 4-game skid so far, as Siegel misses high and away to bring it to a hitter's count against Danny Wright. So it's not like the Miners are too far off the beaten path. They just sort of need that spark to get this winning ways going again. Wright pops one up in the right field. Ranging over to his left is Fan to break and Wright to make the grab for out number 1 of the inning.
Now batting your designated hitter.
Attesting to that, the Miners on the season have the 4th best batting average, hitting .214 as a team, and then just kind of sit in the middle of the road for other offensive statistical categories. 28th in runs batted in, do not have a home run yet this year, and 10 stolen bases. As the designated hitter Aaron Walters stands in. The left-handed hitting designated hitter looks at strike 1 up in the zone. Walters reached back in the first inning, but it was on an error as he looks at strike 2, low and in at the knees. Came in tonight with only 2 hits, was 2 for 20. So definitely looking to start to spark his season sooner rather than later. He fouls one off of his foot. And man, that is it just me or is there a magnet going to the Miners' feet tonight?
It seems so. I mean, Spencer Henson got hit with the pitch, had a little limp. I think he's all right now. But it took him a while to shake that one off. And then Hunter Jump fouling one off basically in the next pitch. So a lot of balls are going to the legs of the Miners.
The 0-2 from Siegel gets Walters swinging through, but that ball will head all the way to the backstop, and Aaron Walters will reach for the 2nd time tonight.
And not the way that Walters wanted to get on base, but he gets on base, and the more you get on, the higher confidence will become. So he's hoping something will spark his ABL season sometime soon.
Hopefully it sparks the Miners' bats later in this game, or rather right now with a man on first and only 1 down. Man behind the plate, David Avitia, comes up and another passed ball that Ruiz has trouble with, and that moves Walters all the way over to second. So just like that, the Miners have a runner in scoring position with only 1 out in the bottom of the 7th inning. They still hold a lead 6-5 as the Bucs hold a meeting at the mound between catcher Ruiz, the first baseman Stankiewicz, and their pitcher Siegel to go over some things. Siegel tonight coming in nicely in relief for the starter Preston Snavely. Snavely and Siegel, collegiate teammates and now summer ball teammates. As he's pitching from the stretch, takes a glance over, now focuses at home plate, and bouncing one over to short is Avitia. The throw over from Escala barely gets there in time for out number 2. Does move the runner over to third, though. So the Miners have a man on third with 2 down, and that brings up one of the hotter bats in the Miner lineup. Coming into this game, 6 of 29 was the center fielder Kona Quiggle. Lefty on lefty matchup with 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th. Miners looking to extend their 6-5 lead. The first pitch from Siegel is in the dirt. And Quiggle this year has 2 doubles on the season. Has drove it in 2 RBIs as well. As another passed ball all the way to the backstop this time to drive in Aaron Walters. So Walters reaches first on a pass ball, moves over to second on a passed ball, gets to third on a fielder's choice, and then, Connor, how does he score?
That's another pass ball.
So 3 passed balls that have involved Aaron Walters, who comes around to score for the first time this season. Now 7th run for the Miners. They now lead 7-5, and Quiggle, soft liner over to short as Scala makes the play with ease to end the inning. But the Miners get another one on the board as we approach the 8th inning. Miners leading the Bucs 7-5. Welcome back into Herman Brothers Field in Palmer, Alaska. We have two streaking teams right now, one on the winning side and one on the losing side. The Bucs on a 3-game win streak, and the Miners have dropped 4 in a row. But the Miners looking to change that outcome as they lead 7-5 here in the 8th inning. On the mound, shutting it down when he came in for an out last inning, Malachi Emmond, he stays out there. A right-handed thrower will face the second baseman, also a right-handed hitter, Tanner Treadaway, whose first pitch swinging, dribbles one over to the left side. Bare hand play from Pinarini. Got him at first. What a play from Tyler Bozetti, rather. I beg your pardon. I apologize to Tyler Bozetti, who made a great play over there at third, and I mispronounced his name.
I gave credit to left field. That's all right. But Bizzetti, David Wright-esque, bare hand, picks it up, fires it over at first. Great play all around for Tyler Bizzetti.
So 1 down. Stepping in is Daniel Fredrickson, who looks at a ball blown away. Once again, the great play from Tyler Bozetti over at third. Great work out there. The 1-0 from Emmond. He's from the stretch. Misses low this time to bring the count to 2-0. So Fredrickson out of Gonzaga, who's teammates with our left fielder, Austin Pinarini. As Emmond comes set, Dales misses with the breaking pitch inside, falls to 3-0. Emmond this season only walking 4 guys through 3 2/3. His 3-0 misses high and away, and with only a 2-run lead and all bases open, may not have been a bad decision to try to get Fredrickson to maybe swing at the outside fastball. So Fredrickson jogs on over to first, and the Bucs get their first base runner of this inning on. And Jose Ruiz steps in. He's the tying run, would be the tying run if he comes around to score. Another righty-on-righty matchup. As Ruiz skies one in the air. Foul ball for strike number 1. Ruiz 0 for 2 on the day. The only time he reached was back in the 3rd inning on a walk. Currently sits 0-1 to Emmond. Emmond glances over to first, decides to throw that way, but diving back in time safely is Fredrickson. And the Bucs, not really a base-stealing team, only with 9 so far in the year. That ties for last in the ABL.
And not to cut you off, but I just realized we got a position change now.
As missing high and inside is Malachi Emmond.
We've got Kona Quiggle. He's at first base. Braden Merritt's out in center. And Brett Owens at second.
And luckily for us, Coach Jeff Erlab making a mound visit, so that'll give us some time to adjust things. And it makes sense because Henson seemed to be a little shaken up after he got hit in the foot. So Quiggle moves, as Connor just said, to first. Merritt coming into center. As Henson will, I would imagine now, sitting the rest of the game, and he may not be too hurt, but it is early in the season, so you want to be conservative. And also forgetting to mention that at second now is Brett Owen in for Danny Wright. So we're back into the action. Malachi Emmons 0-1, delivered for a strike. He's ahead in the count, 0-2, with 1 down. Fell behind to the last batter, Treadaway, 3-0, and ended up walking him on a 4-pitch walk. But now he's ahead in the count, 0-2. 1 down. Top of the 8th inning. Emmons pitch. Fouled off over to the right side. Count stays at 0-2. Ruiz, the catcher, right-handed hitting catcher, from El Camino College and originally hails from Paramount, California. Mentioned Ruiz not having a great start. Hasn't really been improving it tonight as he came in 3 for 20 and 0 for 2. Emmons' breaking pitch freezes up Ruiz, who goes down on strikes for the second time tonight. And that also gives Malachi Emmons his second strikeout of the evening. So 2 down for the Miners in this top half of the 8th inning. That brings up the first baseman, Dane Stankiewicz. Left-handed batting first baseman. Chatting with his Grand Canyon teammate, David Avitia, who's behind the plate. Still a man on first for the Bucs. And they call a balk on Malachi Emmons. They said he didn't come set when he tried to throw over. Miners fans not happy with it. And that's going to cause David Avitia to come to the mound. Sure, just to chat real quick with Emmons and relax him down a little bit, maybe. So that moves over Fredrickson to second. Now the Bucs have a runner in scoring position. But luckily for the Miners, they have 2 down in this top half of the 8th inning. They lead 7-5 and look to hold that lead with the trusty reliever out there, Malachi Emmons. He comes set from the chest. Big breaker that started out not really near the zone and ended up coming in.
That's just what's so special about that slider.
And we do see some action in the pen. Emmons 0-1. That big breaker. Why not drop it in there for strike 2? And Emmons, for the second straight batter, heading the count 0-2. Loves to pitch from that way, and it shows.
Seems like every time he's on the mound, he has that slider working for him.
Emmons 0-2. Big breaker. Had Stankiewicz thinking about it, but he didn't end up going. And actually, that last strikeout to Ruiz gives Emmons 10 on the season. So he's in double digits for strikeouts already in just his 4th appearance. But he wants number 11 right now to end the inning. 1-2 count, man on second, 2 down, top of the 8th. Emmons delivers and gets Stankiewicz swinging through for strike 3. The Bucs get one on and actually get him to move over to second, but they leave him stranded out there, and the Miners still lead 7-5 as we head into the home half of the 8th inning on Matsu Miner Radio.
Also, time for the program prize giveaway.
Miners looking to tack on some insurance runs in the bottom half of the 8th inning as they lead the Bucs 7-5 and do up our 9-1-2 hitters for the Miners. Stepping in, one of the hottest bats in the lineup is Tyler Bozzetti, coming off making a great play last inning from third, as he's 2 for 3 on the day with a single and a double. and grounded out in his last at-bat. He'll look at strike one. Alex Siegel still in there for his fourth inning of work. He's from the wind. The southpaw gets Bozzetti swinging through. Siegel really has that breaking pitch working. So currently we're seeing two pitchers that have a phenomenal breaking pitch in Siegel and Emmond. The Bucs do have a man up in the pen as Siegel's 0-2 misses low and away. The Miners do as well. Looks as in right-hander Bryce Tassin will look to, I would imagine, come in and try to shut down the door. The 1-2 from Siegel is lined over to third. Correa can't quite handle it and then has trouble trying to pick it up to go over to first. He won't be able to make a play on it. And Tyler Bozzetti reaches on the hot shot hit to the hot corner.
Number 2, Drew Swift.
So the Bucs with their third error of the ball game. They actually lead the ABL in errors with 16 and make it 19 now with that third one. And we're going to see a mound visit here. May just be to relax Siegel as there's a man on first. And standing in is Drew Swift. Swift had a big RBI double back in the fourth inning and actually reached in his last at-bat on an error. So he's reached twice tonight. We'll look to reach for the third time. Swift, the shortstop out of Arizona State. And we see Swift, he's stolen 4 this year, 4 stolen bases so far in this minor season. This past spring in Tempe, he stole a total of 4. So already to a hot start on the base paths for Swift. And we do see a pitching change. So we'll take a small break here on Matsu Minor Radio. When we come back, we'll have the rest of the 8th inning here in Palmer.
Number 2, Drew Swift.
We're back in the bottom half of the 8th inning here at Herman Brothers Field. The Miners leading the Bucs currently 7-5, but they do have a man on first as they look to extend this lead for a little bit of an insurance run. And our new pitcher in the ball game is Legend Smith, the tall lefty out of the University of Oklahoma. Swift looking to bunt, pulls back as that was in low for a ball. This is actually Smith's first appearance in the Alaskan Baseball League. The 6'3" left-hander finished up his freshman year. Teammates with Miners right-hander Jake Terry. And Swift with the bunt straight up the middle. Making the play is catcher Ruiz to throw out Swift at first. Nice sacrifice to move Bozzetti over to second. And out number 1 of the inning.
Now batting, Your left fielder, number 20, Austin.
So that brings up Austin Pianarini, the left side hitting left fielder. Pianarini reached back in the first inning on a walk. Hasn't done much since. But with a man in scoring position and only one down, this would be a huge opportunity to capitalize on for the Miners. The pitch from Smith misses high to Pianarini. Pianarini, we mentioned that of Gonzaga, the normal catcher playing left field tonight. And before Gonzaga, the 1-0 to Pianarini misses, hits the outside corner. 1-1. Played at Bellevue College, where he batted .300 with 53 runs, 43 RBIs, and had 16 doubles with Bellevue, and transferred into Gonzaga. So Pianarini with that wide open left-handed stance looks at ball too high. As his teammate Tyler Bozetti stands on second, they look to add on some insurance. Already winning by 2, 7-5 in this rematch at the top of the World Series. Smith's pitch gets Pianarini to swing through to tie up the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Pianarini with really one of the smoother swings on this Miners team. And would definitely like to help out the Miners and to get their first win of this 4-game homestand. The 2-2 just misses inside to work the count full. So Pianarini worked the count full back in the first inning, ended up drawing a walk out of it, trying to do the same right now in the bottom half of the 8th. This is the Miners' 6th game in a row. Currently, as Pianarini swings through strike 3 for out number 2 of the inning.
Pinch hitting for your Miners out of
Smith was really keeping Pianarini guessing,
number 1,
keeping him off balance the whole at bat.
Owen.
Stepping in now is Brett Owen, who is in place of Spencer Henson. Owen, the right-hander, out of Kansas State. Owen originally hails out of Blanchard, Oklahoma, as he looks at a ball low. Owen, his senior year of high school, was named a Max Preps All-American. As he takes another ball low, where he batted .571 with 17 home runs and 33 stolen bases in that senior campaign.
Yeah, I guess that'd give him All-American status.
Yeah, definitely a vast improvement as he looks the 2-0 in there for strike 1 inside. Move the count to 2-1. A vast improvement from his junior year, which was still great, where he batted .356, only 1 home run and 21 RBIs. So improving off that, you got to be good to do that, and he quite really is. As he looks at another ball well inside, had to pull the hands back. Brett Owen worked into a hitter's count, 3-1. Owen on the season, 4 of 22, a .357 on-base percentage. Has 1 RBI, looks to make it 2 right now in this bottom of the 8th inning as the Miners lead 7-5. Smith deals and misses low, so he'll put aboard Brett Owen, who came in to pinch hit. And that brings in
right fielder, number 14,
the right fielder, Hunter Jump.
Yeah, so Owen coming in, not sure on the status of Spencer Henson, but Owen coming in on defense in the 8th, in the top half of the 8th. So as soon as we know, we'll let you guys know on how Spencer Henson is doing.
So lefty on lefty matchup as Jump stands in. The first pitch from Smith hits that low middle part of the plate for strike 1. 2 down, bottom of the 8th. Miners on top of the Bucs currently 7-5. It's the first time these two teams have seen each other since the top of the World Series last summer. And the 0-1 from Smith misses low. And the last time, obviously, the Miners getting that victory and hoisting that ABL championship. Nevertheless, we're in this early part of the ABL season. Miners and Bucs on a mission to get back there. And if the Miners can pull it off again, it'd be 3 titles in a row. 1-1 into jump. Misses low again to bring the count to 2-1. Hunter Jump in his last at-bat fouled one off of his foot, which he seemed a bit shaken up. Ended up flying out in that at-bat. Stands in now, looking to get a hit. Smith deals and Jump squares one up and lines it into right field. Around third and scoring is Bozetti. And the throw into second to get Jump is in time. And the run will score before Jump was tagged out. So the Miners do extend their lead with one more run in the 8th inning. We'll see if the Miners can close it out and end this 4-game losing streak as we head into the 9th inning on Mat-Su Miner Radio. Welcome back into this battle of the streaks.
Coming into pitch for your Miners.
Bucs on a 3-game winning streak and the Miners on a 4-game losing streak. But the Miners look to break their own streak with the Bucs as they lead 8-5, thanks to Hunter Jump adding on one more with an RBI hit back in the bottom of the 8th to extend the lead to 3. And in the game is Bryce Tassin, the right-hander, out of Walker, Louisiana, and Southeast Louisiana. His first pitch misses for a ball. And the Bucs will have their top of their lineup to start. Willie Escala, the shortstop, who's been in some scuffles today, as Tassin nails that lower outside corner. Back in the 3rd inning, stomping on home plate, which some words may have been said to Avitia, who ended up pushing him, and benches did get cleared. No one thrown out or no hands thrown. But ended up being all good as Escala fouls one off over to the right side. Escala now with 12 hits on this young season. And 12 runs scored. He's down on the count to Tassin, the 1-2. Big breaker just misses inside to tie up the count at 2. Tassin has appeared twice for the Miners. Does have an 0-run record as his first appearance. As he gets Escala to strike out, but Avitia has to block it and will throw down to first for out number 1. So the Bucs now down to 2 outs
Now batting,
as Bryce Tassin
right
gets a
fielder number
Scala to
2,
swing
Jace
through one to
Vandenbrink.
strike out. And Tassin 0 for 1 on the year with a 6.0 ERA in 2 games. 3 innings pitched, has 4 strikeouts, has walked 1 and given up 3 hits. But right now, he's cruised through the first batter, looking to do the same for the next 2 as he hits that lower outside corner for strike number 1. He faces Jace Vandenbrink, a right fielder. Hits from the left side. Vandenbrink sack fly in his last at bat as Tassin misses low once again. Vandenbrink has reached twice today, once on an error and then doubled back in the 5th inning. Coming around to score actually in both times. 1-1 count, 1 out. Miners lead 8-5. The pitch gets Vandenbrink to swing through, so Tassin once again ahead in the count, 1-2. 2 outs, bottom 9. Miners lead the Bucs 8-5. Miners trying to snap this 4-game losing streak here at home in their 3rd game of this 4-game homestand. Tassin winds and pitches, just misses. Avita shaking his head, saying, I like the pitch. Good miss, good miss. So the count has worked the 2 balls, 2 strikes. Tassin winds and deals. Vandenbrink fouls it back over to the left side. And the home plate umpire throwing the ball out to Tassin, but Tassin not paying attention, fixing his belt, and then looks up and goes, what the heck? So nevertheless, he steps and toes the rubber. Drew Swift trying to pump up the crowd over there at short. Nice crowd once again on hand at Palmer. Tassin's 2-2. Just misses the outside corner. And Drew Swift bouncing, thinking that was strike 3. Gotta love the support from the shortstop. Count is full, 1 down. Tassin winds and delivers. Fouled back over to the left side. 6th pitch at bat currently. Jace Vandenbrink is working. Full count. Only 1 out in this top half of the 9th inning. The Miners leading by 3, 8-5. Vandenbrink swings through strike 3. Bryce Tassin 2 up and 2 have been struck out for the Bucs. They're now down to their final out.
Third baseman number 14, J.C. Correa.
And their last hope is J.C. Correa, the 3rd baseman. Has a hit on the day, 1 for 3. Walked also in the 5th inning. So Tassin with 2 outs. The first pitch to Correa is fouled over to the right side. The Miners now in prime position to end this 4-game losing streak, up 3, 8-5 in the bottom of the 9th. Rather, top of the 9th with 2 down. Tassin looks in, gets his pitch. Winds and delivers. Just misses for ball 1. Very unhappy crowd wanting that to be strike 2. As the sun is very much shining over Herman Brothers Field. The 1-1 by Tassin. This is flied into the right side of the field. Ranging back and camped under it is Brett Owen. And the Miners head their way back into the win column with an 8-5 victory over the Anchorage Bucs. So that also breaks the Bucs streak as well. They had run 3 in a row previously. And for the first time in this 4-game homestand, took them a few games to do so, but the Miners get a win. And we will have your post-game show following shortly the end of this broadcast, where we will have an interview with head skipper Ben Taylor and our player of the game. So for Connor Mills and myself, Brad Walker, the Miners, for the final time, get the win tonight and end a 4-game losing streak at home. They defeat the Anchorage Bucs 8-5. It's been a pleasure.